As we get to the business end of the NBL1 2023 season, we take a look at the teams at the top of the table in the East men's competition, plus some potential MVP candidates. There is a logjam fighting for final spots in a super competitive season. But who is due to rise above the rest? Welcome to 2 Feet in the Paint's NBL1 review show.
Newcastle Falcons sitting in 7th place at the moment. They've also got an 8-6 record, so there's a bit of a logjam just at the skimming the finals this season. And for the Newcastle Falcons, it was really hard to pick their standout player this year. So we kind of got a few here, so maybe we cheated. But Miles Cherry, I mean, what else would you expect from the big man? I mean, the post-up king of the Newcastle Falcons and the NBL1 East competition. 17 points, 10 rebounds, and doing it off a 62% shooting. So
large enough sample size too.
Yeah, and got really good percentages in the paint. It just takes those high percentage post-ups, those finishes in the dunker spot. And his running mate as well, Ryan Beastie, has been absolutely electric as well, Garen, from inside and outside, but also doing a lot of ball handling this year for the Newcastle Falcons team. So very key to their offense.
Very dangerous. The slowest paced team in the league, sitting at 8-6, your Newcastle Falcons. Maitland Mustangs at 6th place, 8-6 also. Will Cranston Lown. We got to witness a brilliant game winner. And we spoke to the coach and he really emphasized in getting more shots, especially off the dribble and creating offense. Well, when you're putting up 19 points a game, 4 assists and 4 rebounds and 53% shooting.
Incredible, yeah.
That's incredible. Not to mention his 2.5 steals. So always handsy on defense, active, energy. The Energizer Bunny on full display. And nothing grey about his game is Matt Gray.
Yeah, Matt Gray as well. I mean, this Maitland Mustangs team losing Terrell Turner. I mean, Terrell Turner was there for almost a decade, but I think he's playing out in Springwood nowadays, I saw today, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, wow.
But Matt Gray's been one of those players to really step up and fill in the void, and Matt Gray is a nice stretch big to complement James Hunter in the middle. He can really shoot well, can also play make, which has really stood out this year, but can get in the paint, bang with the best of them, and has had a couple of huge performances for the Maitland Mustangs. And just quickly on Will Cranston, I mean, he's been a revelation. I think he could be MVP sleeper, or at least Team of the Year candidate.
Yeah, definitely Team of the Year candidate. The way he's shooting the ball and the game winner. So shout out to Will Cranston Lau, absolutely tearing it up this season. 8-6, Maitland Mustangs at 5th, gunning their way to 4th spot. Hopefully he's the Canberra Gunners. And GM Express, GM Motors, Glenn Morrison, one of the best bigs in this league, if you ask me. One of the most efficient bigs, can really stretch the floor, has great footwork in the post. A couple spin moves against our Norths players, I remember. Really dominant physical presence. I'm surprised he's not in the NBL, doesn't have an NBL contract.
Yeah, what's going on? Come on, NBL. Come on.
Look at his highlights. I mean, it just says it all. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 50% shooting on a large enough sample size where his game just is absolutely amazing. And his running mate, the sharp shooter, who we got, James Toohey.
Yeah, James Toohey. Really the Clay Thompson of the NBL1 East. That's right, I'm calling it. He's that good a shooter, James Toohey. Whether it's off down screens, off the pick and roll situation, or just catch and shoot, his jump shot is absolutely pure. James Toohey, I mean, he's just stepped up year after year after year for Canberra. And you can see why they won the championship last season, Garen. I mean, a lot of those players returning and contributing really well. I mean, Badalassi, the veteran presence, I mean, he's holding down that wing position, doing a great job defensively on some of the hardest players to mark in NBL1 East. So that core's still around, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Canberra Gunners maybe make a push for the top spot, or the top 4, at least by the end of the season, because they're starting to hit their strides of late. And so have the Sutherland Sharks, 11-4. So great start to the season for the Sharkies, and that's all been led by, in my opinion, their best player. I mean, it was very hard to pick, Lockie Hutchinson. Now, he had that Kings experience for the last few seasons as a development player, and that's really showing off. I mean, 17 points, and Lockie Hutchinson not only scores a lot for them, but is their primary ball handler.
4 rebounds, 3 assists. So he does it all. Yeah, like you said, one of their bright spots, one of their top scorers, and a long-time Sharky, Adrian Cabrera as well. So averaging about 10.9 on the season, just under 11 points a game. Another one of those guys that can really let it go in. Runs the point at times, can run the shooting guard. Great combo guard. And Sutherland Sharks at 4th. North's Bears at 11-3. And Madut being out a lot of games, so it's hard if your sample size qualifies for him being in the top scorers of the league, but he currently is. And shout out to Junior Madut, but we got Brennan Reimer on 24 points a game. Rev it up, Reimer. One of the most lethal scorers or deadly shooters in this league. Whether it's off the dribble, pulling up from deep, catch and shoot, using his speed in transition to trying to break down the defenders and get it to the basket, plays his angles well off the backboard. I mean, his repertoire has been on full display this season, and it's nothing but raindrops from behind the arc. I would love to see an NBL1 3-point shootout. There's so many guys like Blake Morrow, Brennan Reimer, Pat Fraser, we already spoke about Alex Tooby. There's a lot of sharpshooters in this league, so hopefully they'll do that one day. Brennan Reimer, and then I also got Mike Golding as a dark horse kind of player. Might runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year, or maybe #1. He does it all, the Swiss Army knife, but his biggest strengths are rebounding and playing defense at such a small position. And when he does that, his instincts are on full display, getting steals, blocking shots, and his plus-minus is through the roof defensively. So, shout out to our Bears, and anything else from our Bears?
Yeah, just Mike Golding, he really influences winning. I mean, don't get stuck in the box score or the statistics. When he's out there, this Bears team just looks a whole lot better. As does with Lewis Holy as well. The Bash Bros have been calling them. So Golding and Holy, they've really changed the atmosphere around the Bears club, especially in the men's squad. And with that energy and effort, they really set the defensive tone, which I think has led to a lot of the Bears' success. But a team that has really turned around this year, culture-wise, on and off the court, is in the second place at the moment, the Inner West Bulls.
Wow.
12-2 at the moment. It's only dropped 2 games and had a massive winning streak not that long ago. I think it was 7 or 8 games in a row. And that's mainly been thanks to... Oh, this is really hard. This actually was really hard, Garrett, to pick out their top player. But yeah, we're going to go Alex Higgins-Titcher. No offense to anyone else. I mean, I think Alex Higgins-Titcher could potentially be NBL1 East MVP this year, as he was in UBL, which got announced recently.
There's so many players when you got Higgins-Titcher, 17, 8, and 65% shooting. And then Chris Bryant, like also, there's so many. And then there's Blake Morrow. Chris Bryant's killing it. The dunking demon, or the guy that's just catching bodies left, right, and center in this league. As is Higgins-Titcher and the sharpshooter from the US, Blake Morrow. Absolute sharpshooter. I had a great game against Maitland as well. So just killing it all around his Inner West Bulls. And off the bench, their newest import at 35 on 7 threes. So it's tough when your players are all contributing at such an extremely high level. Your Inner West Bulls at second place. And COE, basketball COE, your center of excellence. They've had a lot more games this season because their schedule's been scheduled a bit differently. So they've had 16-1, in case you're wondering why they've played 17 games so far. But Alex Tooby, brother of James Tooby, absolutely killing it, and signed with the Zags in college. So getting a college stint soon, but dominating here in the NBL1 East. 19 points and 6 rebounds. What do you know about Tooby, James?
Oh, Alex Tooby is just so rangy. His wingspan is incredible. His ball handling is exquisite. His shooting is on point, and he just drives to the basket with reckless abandon. Alex Tooby, can't say enough good things about the young gun. I mean, must have learnt a thing from James back in the day on how to score, because Alex Tooby has just really been lighting up this NBL1 competition. And it's hard with Center of Excellence because there's so much talent all the way down to the last man on the roster, so they tend to share the minutes a lot. So to step up and be the leader of this team, which is already stacked with talent, is such an achievement for Alex Tooby. But it's not to talk down the efforts of another huge scorer for them, Ben Henshaw. Averaging, I think, about 16, 17 points this season. Very crafty guard, can shoot the lights out. And yeah, really the running mate for Alex Tooby, and been such a big part of the Center of Excellence success. I mean, there's plenty of players on that squad.
So many players. When it's Center of Excellence, everyone can be MVP. I mean, there's so many players on every team. It's just tough to pick players, but it's good to see young athletes dominating in an NBL1 East season. That's been a great season for players to get recognition, whether they're playing overseas, college, trying to get to the NBA, as we do some of these players in the Center of Excellence. So it's tough, but it's a great season, and it's been fun to be a part of calling some of these games. So.
And there you have it, ladies and gents. That's our, wrap-up of mid-year of how all the NBL1 East men's teams are doing. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Is there a few players that have maybe missed? We'd love to hear back from you, and about what content you'd like to see us create going forward. But until then, we'll see you next time.